For decades, the blueprint for effective leadership relied heavily on personal discipline. The standard advice was almost always the same: wake up at 4 a.m., block your calendar into 15-minute increments, and read a book a week. But that approach breaks down when the sheer volume of daily inputs scales past human capacity. Today's operational complexity, constant data influx, and the demand for continuous content production have outpaced what pure grit and a planner can manage. Leaders who still rely exclusively on those traditional habits end up acting as the primary constraint on their own teams. Instead of directing strategy, they spend their days drowning in overflowing inboxes and managing low-value logistical tasks. The highest-performing executives are abandoning that reliance on personal endurance. In its place, they are architecting strict technological hierarchies of delegation. Top leaders use this specific hierarchy to offload the cognitive burden of maintenance, effectively reclaiming the capacity to direct their teams instead of merely keeping up with them. Look at the base layer: automation and integration. This is the structural foundation. Tools like Zapier, N8N, and Clay operate here, silently connecting software applications behind the scenes, ensuring data flows continuously so the executive never opens them. Operating effectively at this level requires a strict set-it-and-forget-it mentality. The executive's focus shifts entirely away from executing individual tasks and toward designing automated systems. Once configured, this layer permanently eliminates the background noise. Manual data entry, copying records, and basic logistical routing happen instantly, with zero human intervention. Ruthlessly automating this operational noise is a strict prerequisite. Without securing this base layer, a leader will never claw back enough bandwidth to utilize the specialized tools sitting above it. Moving up the structure, we hit a dense stack of specialized tiers: creativity, productivity, content creation, and development. With the noise cleared, this middle section is built explicitly for multiplying output. In the productivity tier, executives compress their required reading. They route hours of meeting transcripts, dense industry reports, and financial data into immediate, concise summaries that highlight only the actionable decisions. The creativity and content creation layers above allow them to turn those insights into outbound communication. They can rapidly prototype visual concepts and scale their messaging internally without sitting in a queue waiting on a design agency. And utilizing the development tier, even executives with zero programming background can deploy internal tools and utility scripts to streamline their department's specific workflows. This transitions the leader away from a linear delegation chain. Instead of assigning a task and waiting days for a draft, they act as a rapid prototyper, using the AI stack to generate simultaneous outputs. Mastering this middle stack gives one individual the execution speed and operational agility of a fully where the true value of a modern executive is realized. Applications at this apex, like Claude, ChatGPT, and Perplexity, act as high-level intellectual sparring partners. Leaders don't use this tier to write emails or format spreadsheets. They use it to pressure test complex go-to-market strategies, map out multi-year visions, and ask difficult, contrarian questions. The true utility of automating all the lower tiers is buying back the mental space required to think deeply and strategize effectively at this apex. We can measure the success of this system by looking at the tangible outcomes listed along the bottom margin of the framework. Running this stack reclaims compounding hours every single week, scales output volume, and automates repetitive tasks until they require zero human oversight. The grinding executor remains trapped in the mechanics of getting things done. The strategic orchestrator, however, manages the system that does the work for them. To elevate your impact going forward, you have to completely stop trying to personally perform the work that belongs at the base of the pyramid. By building and trusting this architecture, you finally secure the time and focus required for the human element, the critical decisions, the relationships, and the vision that define the long-term success of the organization.